Good evening, everybody. I can see we have some people in the chat today. I appreciate everybody joining me. This is the first time I can remember that I did this on a Saturday. So I'm hoping that we can get some people in here and get the discussion about guns and gear. It is an exciting time, actually. It's a couple weeks after SHOT Show. I did not attend SHOT Show this year. Actually, I had a death in the family, very close death. Well, I did not go because my mother passed away, and it was very sad, but it happened, and so I stayed home. And she didn't. It was right. It was right at the time. So had I made plans to go out there, it would have been a disaster. I would have been hopping on a plane and coming back and everything else, and it just wasn't going to work this year. And I was fine with that. I've been hope my internet's not messing up on me because I just saw it buffering a little bit. Hopefully everybody can see the feed pretty well. It seems to be coming in okay now. We got Leonard, Jonathan, J Mock, Fluffy, What's Up, Cam, Live 2, Moo, Flying Rich. We have some guys in this chat here. Pretty excited about it. I was at the range today and I was shooting a handgun that I have not shown yet. And I will tell you, it was a great time. You ever go to the range and it just worked out exactly as intended? Sometimes the opposite happens. You may have optics go out. You may have problems with ammo. You may have a lot of things go wrong. And if you make videos, you may have an issue with your battery or your SIM card or whatever the case. Today, everything went pretty outstanding. So I left pretty excited. You know that feeling you get when things go well. All right, we have Martin, Travis, Garage Guy, Richard. Wow, nice group here. Happy to see everybody. I want to talk about guns and gear as always, but the you know what? I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about that in a bit. But I've been showcasing quite a few lately. One of the ones that I wanted to talk about was I paid $100 flat for a 12 gauge shotgun, a pump action shotgun called the Ermox X Pro B12, and it was pretty cool. It was a $100 shotgun. Okay, it was nothing that special. I wouldn't trade it in for my Mossberg Maverick 88 security model, which is the one I have. But I have to say it was a pretty cool shotgun for $100. Now, what we are seeing is a big gap between very expensive handguns, and I would say 700 on up, all the way up into the thousands, versus the 350 and lower. And there's a huge gap in between there. And you look at the Ruger RXM coming out a little bit under 300, sometimes 350. I had guys tell me they picked theirs up for 350. That's a great price for that handgun. And what happened was I went to the store to just pick up a transfer, and the guy next to me said, "Hey, I just picked up that shotgun for $100." Then I asked the guy behind the counter, I said, "You have another one?" He said, "Yeah, $100." And I said, "I'll take it." I didn't even look at it. I figured for $100, really can't get hurt too bad. But there's this big gap between budget and higher end. Higher end meaning more expensive. And every time there's something that is higher end, someone says, "Well, that should be $300-400 less. That's how much it should go for." Well, as a consumer, it's easy to say that. We weren't on the design team, we weren't on the production team, we didn't have to pay for the costs, the overhead, the labor, the machining, problems, setbacks, and all that. But some of those coming out now the Kimbers. Kimbers have always been real expensive. That's nothing new, but that CDS 9 is pretty outstanding. The Carbon Compact is really nice. I have a K6S Target revolver that's in my possession right now. Some great guns are coming out to the market. I have not seen a lot in new shotguns. That part I have not seen, but I have seen a lot of new handguns. You look at Gearson. Gearson came out with 5 or 6 new models just for 2025, and they launched a lot of them prior to SHOT. And I got my hands on the Brat and the Witness 2011 Match, and that was pretty cool. All right, Tomcat, Jonathan, Johnny, Appalachia, Raul. Raul purchased a Kel-Tec P17 due to your reviews. It's an awesome 22. Hey, you know what? I've had many Kel-Tecs. I only own one now. Not saying that some of the others aren't pretty good, but I only own one now, and it is that P17. That thing can run. There's no doubt about it. But James asked about the AREX. I have to believe he's talking about the AREX Delta. He could be talking about, I can't remember the name of the one that looks like a SIG. That is cool. I have my hands on that. Took it to the range and everything. I currently have the Delta. It is very modular. And the Delta 2, very modular. I have 2 frames with it. I can change them in and out. One is the size of essentially a Glock 19X or a Glock 45. I like it, but I don't love it. And when that first came out, it was I don't know, $450, $500 handgun. It didn't sell at all. It didn't sell at all. Then the price dropped. Then they came out with the Gen 2 model. I don't think it really took off. Reliability wise, I think it's okay. I think the trigger could use some work, but overall, it's okay. I still have it. I don't shoot it too often. All right, we've got no shill gun reviews. Mossberg just released the 9.4. Yeah, I saw that. Mossberg released a bunch too this year. We have Bob from South Dakota. Chris, the 740's in the house. John Jackson, MP15A. Once again, Fluffy Jose. This is a good one. Jose asks, what's my opinion on the best 22 long rifle pistol? Well, the $200 Kel-Tec P17 is pretty good, I have to say, but I really think the Taurus TX22 competition, that thing has run everything. It is really cool. And I would put that up against the Glock 44. I would put that up against many other 22s. Even that new SIG 22 that seems to run good. A little bit of finicky ammo issue, but that Taurus TX22 competition I think it's amazing. And I've had a lot of different types of ammo through it, and it just spits it all out like nothing. So I really like that 22. And Chris from the 740 also said that it is amazing. Oh, the cop. Yeah, I'm sure that's, all the guts are the same. And it's not overly priced either. Caracal needs to make a micro 9mm. Caracal has been disappointing to me. They seem to come and go. It seems like that company that if they disappeared tomorrow, nobody would miss them. They're big in the Middle East. Actually, it's a Middle Eastern company, and they made a home in the U.S. I believe it's Utah or Wyoming, somewhere out west. The reason they're disappointing is they show up at a trade event like SHOT Show. They have some real nice rifles, but that sight system, that weird sight system they have on their handgun, they really wanted to get one to me. They promised me they were going to get one. I said I was interested. I just wanted to check it out. It has that sight system where the rear sight is moved forward quite a bit. And so when you align it, that the sight radius is short, but apparently that's an advantage when it comes to accuracy, or at least transitioning and zeroing in on that target. So I've never shot a caracal. I've had several in my hands, but never really did much with it. True Cobbler is in the house. Best 380 pistol. Now that's a loaded question. The Well, I'm a 1911 fan, so I like those 1911 380s. But I think for the most easy to carry has to be a car. A car, CT 380, CW 380. Those are the easiest to carry by far. Now, people, you have to understand when we talk about, we take a handgun that's say this size and you slim it down and make it very small. You take all of those mechanics and you shrink them down very small. It absolutely 100% will need a break-in period. It just will. I can guarantee, I don't care what model it is, it will need a break-in period. People would say, well, the cars don't run well. Well, they don't say the cars don't run. They say the small CW 380. Mine runs incredibly well, but I had to run some rounds through it to get to that point. And I have had great luck with it so far. The Security 380 by Ruger, pretty amazing. People love the LCP Max. I will say though, when I got my hand on the M&P Bodyguard 2.0, I was impressed. I said that has a real solid feel compared to the LCP Max. I like the LCP Max, very popular, but dang, it keeps buffering. I didn't shoot the Bodyguard 2.0, but man, it's so much tighter and the trigger is really good. Cam asked if I checked out the Car X9. I was actually the first one to get my hands on it. I had a pre-production model and I had the first review on YouTube and I was very much impressed. Now, I had updates all along. I have a very strong relationship with Car Arms. And it's not because I make videos or I push them. I don't push them. I don't push anybody. But it is because I have always carried a car way prior to making videos. When I first started making videos, I had a whole bunch of cars. I still do. In one of my safes, I have a whole shelf dedicated to just Car Arms, and that's not including Magnum Research. I have a whole shelf in another safe that includes Magnum Research. But yes, I was the first one to put the video out. It was really interesting. They got it to me. They sent me about 500 rounds of ammo, and all they wanted was my feedback. Mine worked pretty well. I did have some hangups. Other people's who were testers within the company. I was the only one outside the company as a tester and giving feedback. And I had some issues. Another guy had some issues. Some other people, it ran flawless. So that's not unusual for a pre-production model. But what they did with the magazine and how they were able to fit a Hellcat mag and a P365 mag, that's unheard of. To be able to do that as well as the car mags. Now, the car mags are currently 10 rounds. You could fit a 17 round Hellcat mag in there. That's crazy. Nobody's ever heard of that. And let's see what Dale says. He fired the Ruger and brought it home right when you can find it. Love it. Yeah, that's a good one. There's no doubt that's a good one. Taurus Spectrum. Yeah, I owned one of those. I had a real goofy one. It was like lime green and gray. It was stupid, but that was the only one that the gun store had at the time. I picked it up. I paid like $320 for it, and I think I sold it for about $1.25. Well, 120. So we have Tom, we have EBK 20 life. XD mod 2 and 45. I would love to see it. There was a lot of speculation that the XDs would be discontinued with the echelons coming out and all the Hellcat Pros. The Hellcat Pros really expanded. They have the comp model, the threaded model, and the original, and then they have them all different colors and everything. But the XD Mod 2 and 45. If they have that, I haven't seen it. I have the Mod 2 and 9, and it's pretty cool. I have to tell you, I saw it at the local gun store for $300. The only thing you have to do is you have to buy the optic plate if you're going to run an optic, and that costs $25. That's not bad. So even if you pay the $25 and you have it shipped to your house, you put the optic that you want on there, you're well under $400. You're under 350 if you get it for $300. So yeah, it's pretty cool to bring that out in 45. I think would be great. I think what Springfield did was they said the XD is not only good, we're not getting rid of it, we're actually expanding it. And if you look, you'll see that the XDM Elite models, the Mod 2 and 9mm, and the regular XD and 40, which I also have. That only has 10 round mags, but I dig them. I really do. And back in the day, you'd hear Glock reliability. Back when the XD was mainstream, now it's been watered down. The XD has been watered down. But when it was mainstream, you heard a lot of people, just like you do now with various manufacturers, say that the XD models last forever and they'll run all types of ammo. And that's been my experience too. All right, we got Quinn Hall. He said he's checking in. This is an interesting one. Glock 30 SF, a bit heavy, but I dig it. That's a single stack. That was actually Glock's first single stack, if my memory serves me correctly. Way before the 43 and the 42, it was the Glock 30 SF in 45. I believe it holds 6, perhaps 7 rounds. I'm not sure, but that's actually a pretty cool gun. You can find something similar with higher capacity now, and that's really the direction of the market. Everybody's going with higher capacity, but yeah, it's a bit thick. It's it's pretty cool. I've shot it. I keep buffering here. Okay, William said he bought a Maverick 88 Ruger Security 9 Compact per positive reviews. Also, your dumb gun guy voice on your Vince the Hoot. Adios, amigos from South Texas. Hey, good to have you. And it always makes me feel good when someone says they watched my review and they actually went and got the gun because of my review. The reason it makes me feel good is not for my ego or pride. It's because somebody put that type of faith in me to trust my opinion. And more often than not, they come back and say those were good choices for them. And that is what it's kind of weird, because when I started this, the only thing I wanted to do was review guns, and I never really thought I would reach people. And when I hear somebody say that, it tells me that I'm reaching people, and I certainly appreciate that. 30 is a double stack and 45. Okay. So I had that confused with something else. Thanks, Two Live Moo. What a name. Two Live Moo. Cam says my channel got him into car and he loves it. All right, good, Cam. Cam does a lot of shorts. It does some real cool ones. Doesn't make a lot of videos, but when he does, he seems to do real well. I just want to encourage him to keep going, because that's what it takes. You see a lot of guys on YouTube, they're here today, gone tomorrow. And the reason why is because it takes a lot of consistent uploading to build a channel. But anyways, let's get back to guns. Page Covers is here. What is Page Cavers? Dad looking to get his first EDC. What do I recommend? Glock 26 or Glock 43X? For your first one, I'd say 43X if you're going to EDC it, because it's a little bit thinner in the grip. It'll be easier to carry. Standard capacity, 10 rounds in each. Of course, you can get the shield mags or those PSA mags that you don't have to change the magazine release to a metal one. And those they did a great job with those. 15 rounds with those. So I'd say the 43X. I actually like the 20. I like shooting the Glock 26 a little more, but it's not that great of a difference. So if you're going to get your first EDC, get something thin, something easy that doesn't make you, I don't know if you're fat, but if you are fat, some people feel they're fat rolling over the gun if it's too tight. That's not good. All right. Cam says he stays busy with work. Oh, there we go. Glock 36 is the single stack. Okay. All right. Thanks for the correction. I owned the Glock 30. I owned it at one time. I should know better. All right. And Paige says, thank you. Well, you're welcome, sir. What is the best budget 9mm? Wow, what a loaded question that is. I would say through my recent experiences, well, for EDC, I think we're going to talk about car again. Some of those single stack cars, the CW9 comes to mind, or the P9. Car used to be very expensive because they use real quality components. The car's built really tight, good components, good materials and everything. But then they went with a value series where they don't do everything. They may have some MIM parts. Those are great guns. But I think the XD9 Mod 2 is a great choice as well. 43X or Shield Plus, Jose says. I say 43X. That's just me, though. All right. JMock, long time follower. JMock, I appreciate you, sir. Bought the CZ Rammy, watching my videos before it's discontinued. Good move. I'm going to tell you, good move. Don't get rid of it. I think that is one of, shall I say, few that I think will go up in value over time. I really think that. VT. Now, if this isn't something I see quite often, uh, thanks for ignoring my question. I unsubbed. Do you know how many people, if I showed you guys how many people unsub me, some of it is YouTube. I will tell you, YouTube does unsub people. I had a lot of people say, hey, I had no idea I was unsubbed. YouTube did that. They do that. But other people will unsub because they get their tender feelings hurt if you say something that you don't care for about the gun. People out there, they want confirmation on video about the gun that they own. And I don't know if you don't say it, they get buyer's remorse. I don't know if you don't say it, they don't feel vindicated. If you have a gun, I don't care if it's a high point, and it works for you, that's what matters. I don't care if it's $1,200 or $300. If it works for you and you feel comfortable, I'm not standing by the gun. It's not the gun that I am defending. It's the person who bought the gun, and the person who's going to use the gun is the one I'm defending. That's the one who has to feel comfortable with the gun that they decide they're going to protect themselves, or family, their EDC, their home gun, whatever the case. The only thing I would encourage you guys is to run a lot of ammo for it. And okay, so here we have VT Guy 92. I was wondering about 9mm or 45 for preference. That's all. That's a question that people have debated, they've argued, and we've seen it go back and forth. Let me say this. I would say 80% of the guns being developed in today's world is in 9mm. That's because you can stack, put it this way. The market in the last 5-6 years has been moving to double stack higher capacity. It just is. And so you can do that with 9mm. 45 is where my true love is. I love it. If I had to get engaged and marry one, it would be a 45. But in terms of capacity and cost, 9mm is where it's at. So to answer your question, get both. You can justify 9mm, you can justify 45, but I guess it depends on how good a shot you are, because if you need that capacity, then you want to go 9, because if you're not a good shot, it may take you 10 shots to actually hit your target. Smash Time in the house. Talking to Smash Time earlier, he brought up something that I want to talk about. He likes sticky holsters, and he was shocked when I told him that I never had a sticky holster in my hand. And he swears by him. He loves sticky holsters. He says the gun doesn't shift around, it retains the gun, it does everything that he needs the gun to do in his sticky holster. I'm wondering if any of you guys out there feel the same way. Hey, Marco, thank you. Have I ever done AR reviews? Uh, little money for the ammo. Oh, thanks. Yeah, I'm always buying ammo. I'm always buying ammo. I appreciate that. Yes, I have done AR reviews. I've done well, I've actually done quite a few, but ARs, they're kind of hard to review, to be honest with you, because if you look at an AR Diamondback DB15, which I have and I love, and a Delton Sierra 316, which I also have, and I've done reviews on both of those. Delton makes a good rifle. I will tell you that. Delton, if you want a good budget rifle, check out Delton. Okay. So I'm jumping around here. We're talking about sticky holsters. Smash Time says 10 years sticky holster use. Wow. Wow. Good grief. I don't know. If any of you guys have checked out sticky holsters, let me know. I haven't. I'm not against it. I wouldn't mind trying it. Smash Time, he loves them, and he has some good ideas, that's for sure. Lance Kelly in the house. This guy, I tell you what, I have a lot of respect for him. Longtime follower. He checks out everything I do, leaves a comment all the time. Thanks, Lance. Always good to see you. Appreciate you here. Cam's leaving. Take care, buddy. Thanks for stopping in. We have Gort here. We have Alex. What Alex say? Yep, sticky for the 2.0 bodyguard. They do kind of print. All right. I remember I was in a training class and the instructor was talking about the whole philosophy of printing and how horrible it is. And I said, well, let me ask you a question. Why do we care? Why do we care if it's printing? If we're legally carrying, we're not brandishing. Why do we care? Away from the fact that somebody may steal our gun, if they know, tackle us and steal the gun. Like, why do we care if it's printing? And the majority of the class said I'm nuts. They said, what are you talking about? You don't want to print. No, I don't know. I guess I really don't care. If I'm at a store and I have to lift up to get something and my sweatshirt pops up and someone sees my gun, I don't care. Now, if somebody tackles me and steals it, yeah, I would care about that. All right. Oh, Dale's got something now. You want to talk about a blast from the past? A belly band. Dale, in 2014 called. They want their belly band back. I'm just kidding. Once again, I'm saying if it works for you, go with it. I am not going to tell people. One thing I tried never to do is be a gun snob, kind of say I have this, and if you don't have this, you're doing the wrong thing. Everybody has to do their own thing. So when people say what's the best 22, the best 9, the best whatever, I can give you my opinion. You'll either agree or disagree. But anyways, Joshua uses a belly band too, sweatpants. All right, all right, all right. So Marco, belly band. All right, forget what I said about 2014 called. They want their belly band back. Hey, if it works, go for it. Who cares? Have you seen or heard of anyone CCWA? No, not really. I had the L5 once in 357 Magnum. I had it upon its launch, and they had to really work on that, the magazine and the dual recoil spring, and that rimmed cartridge was just hanging up a little bit. Uh, and then they worked it all out, but I guess I may have been on the testers list again. But yeah, I love Desert Eagles. They are so much fun. I some people say this is where the blessing comes in. Some people say I would love one day to have a Desert Eagle, and I have, let's just say, more than one Desert Eagle. And if you watch the videos, you'll see exactly what I have. But I have more than one. Big guys. I mean, big guys. Let's see. Ardmore Mooney says, as far as printing goes, I was in Bass Pro Shops a few years ago before I noticed a guy was open carrying. That's a good point too. Many people open carry, in the American society has become so used to people having phones and gadgets and everything hanging from their belts that they don't even notice when somebody's open carrying. And I do. I'll be with somebody and say, "Do you see that guy? They got a big old Glock 17 on there." And they go, "What are you talking about?" The guy we were just talking with, they had a big. You didn't see that? No, I didn't see it, because people are accustomed to a bunch of gadgets being on people. In the 70s and 80s, we had a car key, a home key, and the key ring had two keys on it, and that's it. People traveled with bubble gum and a breath mint and a key ring and the wallet with some cash. Now you got to have the knife, the spare mag, the gun, the right holster, a multi tool, blah 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 blah. Weighing down 25 pounds walking around, and we're civilians. All right. Let's see. Joshua says he's not an open carry guy, mostly for retention and the gun grabbing weirdo. Yeah. Yeah. If you open carry, I open carry once, not a big deal. Um, yeah, and only once too, because you have to get some type of holster that retains the gun, maybe with oh, what is it? One of those holsters that does a great job with that. I can't think of it right now, but anything else on sticky holsters? I'm curious to know. Hey, do me a favor, put in the chat what your favorite holster is. What company makes the best holster, whether it's leather, Kydex, a sticky holster, some gimmicky thing. I'm a big fan of Vetter. I like We the People. Prior to that, I was really close with the owner of Multi Holsters. Great product. He stopped making holsters. He makes molds now. Still respect the guy completely. We just lost touch a little bit. I moved. To Ohio. 1791 leather holsters, great choice. Muddy River Tactical. I don't know much about that. Tom says that. Marco says We the People. Alex says they make a double action 22 8-shot revolver. The lady depends on the gun. Any Kydex that clicks, comfortable. So many makers. Yeah, there are so many makers, and I think that's why multi holsters just said forget it. Urban carry. Those urban carries, you cannot watch a YouTube video without one of those pushing those urban carries. I don't know much about those. I never bothered. Man, a lot going on. I tell you what. Watchdog Tactical, I haven't think makes the best holster. I never even heard of them. Dan the Wolfman says Don Hume. Don Hume's been a while, or been around a while. Holster, Harry's Holsters, JM Custom Tydex, UM Tactical. I know I've at least heard of about 3 of those out of 5 or 6. Let's see. Lance says 1791 leather holsters. Yeah. Leather holes prior to Kydex, most holsters were leather or a heavy material. Some of the weed leather too was very popular. But when Kydex came around, Kydex was around, but they were form fitted, and you'd buy the holster according to the gun, and it was just so. And it wasn't really much of a thing. People chose leather, and then when Kydex became a thing, probably 15 years ago was the beginning of it. It really took off, and then people have made some pretty good livings in the U.S. by Kydex holsters. I have another one for you. I want to know, for those who care, you don't have to carry with an optic, but if you are into pistol optics, I'd like to know your impressions on Holosun, because I have probably 6 or 7 Holosuns, and I like them, but I'm starting to think they are not worth some of the money they're asking for. They have really skyrocketed in price. You can get the basic model for a fair price, but they have really shut up. I'm just wondering if anybody thinks the same, or and you know what kind of bothers me? I may have said this before in the chat, but they give you 2 sets of screws. Only one time did one of those sets work for me, and I used it. Most I have to dig out screws from other pistol optics that I own from those cases to put the Holosun on. Jesus is king. That is true, sir. Good to see you too. Swamp Fox, Max says, yes, Swamp Fox makes one heck of a good pistol optic there, and some nice rifle optics. I have the Raider. I got it on a 22 bolt action made by Springfield. Bushnell, the RXM 300. That's the big window. Looks like you're looking through a movie screen. It is top notch. It has all the bells and whistles. The 100 and the 200 models, I think it's okay, but that RXM 300 is really good. Gideon, Gort says Gideon. I like Gideon too. I have one Gideon. I've got it on the TSUS Night Stalker. It has performed great. And I've got the Omega, which is a large window. And Dan the Wolfman, he likes Gideon too. Window of an SRO. Yep. Yeah, and that's the good thing, is that you don't have to buy an SRO anymore to get those big optics. Even that 300 Bushnell I was talking about, that's a $300 optic. And then you see some Holisons that are $350, $400. It never was like that. And that's what happens. People, well, companies and people, they start out, they make something everyone loves, and then they jack up the price. Just look at Canik. Look at what Canik did. I remember when Canik first came out, everyone was saying it's the greatest gun ever, $350. And it was fine. There was nothing wrong with it, just a standard TP9. The only difference between the models was the Cerakote colors. And look at what's happened. Now it's hard to find a $400 Canik. And on average, you're looking at between $600 and $800 for a Canik. Although I want that steel frame, Canik Rival steel. Oh, I want that. I want that bad. All right, let's see. What do we got here? That's not what I was looking at. The optic can cost as much as the gun, though. Yes, and that's another thing I wanted to talk about. When optics first came out, the biggest turnoff, outside of people saying they don't want them and they don't need them, was that Delta Point Pros. Who else? Well, there was the SRO, there was Shield. Those were the first main ones. That's about it, too. Shield, Delta Point Pro, and Trigicon. And they were very expensive. And so if you bought a $500 gun, you pretty much had to pay $5, maybe a little more for the optic. It didn't make any sense. Nobody was really interested. And then Holosun came along and said, we can do the same thing. We can make it even better at a lower cost. And they did. And that really got the ball rolling for Holosun. Timing is everything, whether it's a business, whether it's a spouse, you meet the love of your life. Timing is everything. Everything's got to line up. Holosun had the best timing ever when they came out with their pistol optics. And a lot of people went in that direction. They said this has everything that you want at a lower cost, but they skyrocketed their prices. They did. You can still get some at a lesser cost, but for the most part, I would say as a whole, 20-25% increase from what they originally had. Now what we're seeing are, and they always say these cheap Chinese companies. Well, let me tell you something. Vortex, China, maybe they're Japan, but Holosun, China. Okay, half the stuff we buy is from China. It's just the world we live in. So when I hear all that cheap Chinese, that just means they have a company over at Chinese. They don't have a headquarters in US the way Holosun does in California. And so you see these other ones come out like Siley. Siley makes a phenomenal optic. They really do, you know, and I also like that Vortex Defender. CCW is a model, and the other one is called one CCW. The other one is called something else. I can't think of it. All right. What do we have here? What does Fluffy say? He's got 3 handguns with optics on them. Not a big fan of handguns on optics. Yeah, I felt the same way for a long time. You know what changes? When you get a full-size handgun and you have targets in which you transition. That made all the difference for me. A full-size handgun, okay, because it just stands out more. That's why all the 2011s, if you have a 2011, you don't put an optic on there, you're really missing the boat. And how often you transition from target to target, because you will find that you could do it so much faster and more precise with an optic. Quinn Hall says he sucks with red dots. Yeah, there's a learning curve. I'm telling you, you got to take some time. You got to pay for some ammo. You have to take everything that you once knew and then turn it around. And then as soon as you get good at that, you shoot irons and you say, now I have to relearn everything. Not really, not as much, but with the red dots, you have to do that. And a lot of people say, I can't find the dot. Where's the dot? What you have to do is point as if you were looking at your irons, and your dot will appear. That's the key. Rider's Range, one of the best shooters I ever shot with. Rider's Range. He taught me that. All right, how does it make solid red dots? Yeah, that's why I have a bunch. I just bought another one. Actually, I'm looking at one now. I can't wait to show you guys this. I may work on it tomorrow because I was at the range with it today. That's all I did. This is one of the only times I went to the range with one firearm. That's it. And for a little over 400 rounds of ammo. One of the first times ever. But I said, you know what? I'm going to be in and out. Max says green dot. No Shill says, yep, green dot. All right. What about rifle scope? What about rifle scope? Are you guys into Vortex? Are you into Loophole? Are you into Bushnell? What is it? Night Force? Getting into some high-end rifle scopes, some of the Loophole models. D Relic says, what's up, man? What's up? Good to see everybody in here. We have 61 people in the house right now. Okay. Which is cool. Good to see everybody here. Let's see. He wants a Vortex. Some of the Vortex models are pretty. Some are, well, it's like anything else. They have their high end ones. They have their, I don't want to say lower end, but they have some that are not going to cost you a fortune. And even some of their budget models for a rifle is pretty good. But I will mention this. I may make a video on this. I have a 350 Legend Ruger American. I have a Vortex with me right now, but I have it's basically a 3x9 40 millimeter. Okay, 3x9 40, and I dropped the rifle. Now a good optic should hold 0. This did not hold 0, and I was very disappointed because I still had some stuff I wanted to do with that rifle, and I noticed the windage was fine. No, the elevation was fine, but the windage was way off, and I was not happy with that. Uh, I must say EOTech. EOTech, my rifle, still favorite combat. You know, EOTech used to be one of the high end. It was always the aim points of the EOTechs were the high end rifle scopes. Well, not scopes, they could be dots, but EOTech had military contracts, so did aim point, and EOTech, they did a couple bad things. They were donating to uh, some real anti-gun liberals. They got caught with their pants down, and that really hurt the company big time. What's to say? Would you review a gun of a fan? If I have it, why not? Why not? I've done many videos based on suggestions. I see two dots through all my red dot sites. Uh, Probably need your eyes checked. Seriously, that should not happen. Either that or you have a broken, unless all your dots are broken, that could be the case. EOTech, I see a starburst. Yeah. Hmm. I don't know. That's you live in central Ohio. I live in northwest Ohio. I am loving Ohio, guys. I am loving Ohio. It is so conservative. They just passed a law, and they had to make it a law too, where schools cannot allow people to go into whatever restroom they want to go in. Come on. Think about that. When you and I were kids, could you imagine if a boy went into a girl's restroom, get his butt kicked? The boys would run in there, drag him out just to kick his butt. Now they're saying that's freedom. That's not freedom. You want your daughter in the restroom with some guy walking in there? Ohio just made a law that said no more of that. Ain't happening in Ohio. Crazy. Astigmatism. You know, everybody has an astigmatism of a sort. I have an astigmatism, big time. This is good. Green dots are more forgiving to astigmatism than red. That's what Gort says. I have to agree with that. I don't have any data to prove it, but sounds good to me. What else we got going on here? Lance says he has 4 Vortex rifle scopes for on different deer hunting rifles. He always liked them and they perform great. Yes, and they have great customer service. I've used Vortex customer service. They are really good. And so's Loophole. Loophole's good too. My first Delta Point Pro was awful, and they sent it back and it was perfect. All right, I choose to identify as the righteous hand of God against boys and my daughters. Yes, I agree. USMC Big B has it right there. 100%. Paul says Redfield. Now, Redfield, that's some of those budget scopes, I believe. I'm thinking so. It's liberal women that mainly push it. Yeah, that's true. It is. It's crazy. The same people who were pushing for equality, Title IX in women's sports, the same ones that said we need equality, say better funding, better, more opportunities, all that. The same ones that pushed for women's rights in sports are the same ones pushing for men in women's sports. Explain that to me. Crazy. All right, CJ hopped in the house. Sorry he's late. He was watching. I don't know what that is. NXT Vengeance Day. Redfield, not a cheapie. Okay, thanks, Dale. Uh, yeah, when it comes to TV and all that, I just, I just don't watch TV. I guess maybe I live a boring life. I just don't watch TV. ammo recently. I bought a case of ammo. It was 9. Out the door, 268, 250 plus tax, which seemed like a lot of tax. In the end, it was 268. Maybe it was 255. Swamp Fox has now come out with a blue dot to help with astigmatism. I may. Oh, okay. CJ said WWE Pro Wrestling. Okay, I had my day with that. Swamp Fox came out with a blue dot. That's interesting. I have a Meprolite rifle dot that is it has a orange and that it doesn't take batteries or anything. Kind of cool. All right. Any thoughts on the Springfield 1911 DS Prodigy Compact? Did you guys happen to see that? I tell you what, I shot that. I shot that so nice. Isn't it cool when a little compact gun shoots as well as a full size? We're not used to that. You could go from a let's just be extreme here and say a Glock 34, all right, the long barrel 9mm, and then all of a sudden go to a Glock 43. It's a hard transition. I'm not Hickok 45. I can't put any gun in my hand and just hit everything out of it. But with that Prodigy 3.5-inch barrel, I did pretty darn well. Hey, just wanted to say I picked up a car CT45 because of an old video you did, and it's great. Little jumpy with the 45. It's super lightweight, but a great gun. Hey, I appreciate you letting me know that, Thunder. All right. Yeah, I was talking about that earlier, and I was saying how much I appreciate that because people, I try. I don't want to sell people guns. I never tell them this is what you need. I may say if you're into it, this may be what you might want to go with. I might go that route, but I don't want to push people because everybody has different preferences. And a gun that I might shoot really well, you might shoot horribly, and vice versa. So Max says the Brat. Yeah, I have the Brat. I love it. I got mine at 45. They say the 45 is the Lord's caliber. I don't know if that's true, but 45 is pretty outstanding. The Brat is also budget priced. I really enjoyed the Brat. I thought that thing, and what a great name for a handgun. The Brat. I dig it. All right. Anything else going on here? All right. How about if put into the chat your latest firearm purchase? The latest firearm purchase. I'm dying to show you what I'm looking at right now. Took it to the range today. Just took one gun and 400 rounds of ammo. I met Justin Moon at Carr's first SHOT Show. Now that's interesting. When they first came out, Gort, that is so interesting because Justin told me about that. And he said he had one gun, the K9, and it was some ratty gun, and some media got a hold of it prior to SHOT Show. He wanted to make something smaller, easier to carry, and he said he was swamped. He just had one table, and you were one of the guys that were there. All right, Burst of Thunder, 380, 149 bucks. Smith, 638. Jimmy Guns in the house. That's my man right there. Yeah, I miss shot, but I miss seeing guys like you, GB. Awesome dude. Last gun I bought was a Taurus G2C, still carrying my Shield Plus. So okay, SAR 9 off PSA for dirt cheap. Yeah, I had heard that PSA is running a SAR 9 sale that a lot of people were in on. SAR 9 used to be 200 bucks. Seriously, 17 round mags, full size. And then all of a sudden it started to go to 350, even 400. And then it dropped a little bit. Something's going on with SAR. Mark my words, something is going on with SAR Arms. I'm starting to see a huge turnover in the people. I'm noticing that they're not coming out with anything new. They're kind of regurgitating what they showed 2 and 3 years ago. I think something's going on there. Let's see. Haven't bought a new gun in a bit. Can't afford it. Yeah, I get that. 1871 German Mauser, $125. Whoa, what is that fire? 1911 Gerson on Gerson, or is it Gerson? I've heard it always. I call it Gerson. Some people say Gerson. What else? My latest purchase was a 1022 as a backup. Booking. Ardmore Mooney got a 1022. Nothing wrong with that. I love that new Ruger carbon fiber 1022. That thing is so light, 3.5 pounds. And that's the kind you want to put a little optic on too. I put a little Siley, Siley, a lot of the Siley models come with a Picatinny mount. I put that thing on there and the combo's just so nice. Rossi R92 and 357, nice. The 92 2-inch barrel. Because I know the 93 RP 63 has a 3-inch barrel. The 94 has a 4-inch barrel. The 66 has a 6-inch barrel. So I'm going to guess that the 92 has a 2-inch barrel. Shadow 2 orange, nice. Gearson, Max says. What's the question? Oh, Big Doug's in the Big Doug. You may want to sit out this question because I asked everybody about their latest firearm purchase, and knowing you, if you didn't catch something for under $50, you didn't buy it. Big Doug, 6'8" guy. I never saw him in person, but the guy's just a monster of a guy. What a cheapie this guy is. Oh my gosh. Woo. Okay, got a cheap Bushnell red dot on 1022 with the banana mags. A lot of fun. Yeah. Yeah. And Big Doug's a good sport too. He wrote laughing out loud. Have you played with the Mac 5? No. No, but I do have a Zenith ZF5. Same concept. The difference is the Zenith is twice the cost. But I have held it. A lot of accessories you could put. A lot of Mac Military Armament Corp. They make firearms to the same spec as, well, the MP5 is one. It's what he's talking about. Some of the Beretta shotguns, the exact same spec, where aftermarket will be suitable for the Mac. Now, it is a Turkish company, so they can sell at half the cost in many cases. But they put out some pretty good stuff. They do. Steve R would like to get a Desert Eagle in 58E, but can't own one in my state. What a disgrace. It must be New York where they have weight limits. Give me a break. That's why they came out with the lighter models, the L5 and the L6, so that they can go into some of those communist states. Illinois, go figure. Good grief. Where did now this is a good question. Where did the limp wrist gag come from? All right, this is how it started. I'm trying to let it go because I'm getting sick of it, and my dance moves that I use on those are so bad. But this is what happened. A long time ago, I wanted to do a limp wrist test to see how the gun would function. So with a very limp wrist, I went like this. What I did not know at that time was my face looked like this when I was doing it. So I was going like this. I didn't even mean to. And people said, that was so funny. Oh, that was so funny. You have to do that again. And I said, what's the big deal? And I look and I'm shooting the gun like this. And so the next time I flared it up a little bit. Maybe I burped, and it started taking off. Then it became a demand. You have to do the limp wrist test. I did the limp wrist test on the GX2 I had, which didn't do too well, but it's a worthy test. I will say that. With the new gun, is it accurate? Not always. You need to have some rounds through it before you do the limp wrist test. Sometimes I get it right out of the case and I do it, but Gort says limp wrist shtick is a classic. Yeah. Oh, being silly and people loved it. Yeah, you are correct. You have to do a limp wrist test. Yeah, but now I can't do it without dancing around making a fool out of myself. I will say though, when I moved to Ohio, much freer state than Michigan, I will tell you, love Michigan and the people. I love a lot of the people. I still see a lot of people in the idiots ruining the state. Man, they did some damage. Obama has said one thing I agree with. One, and he said elections have consequences. And boy, oh boy, did we see that in Michigan. So I'm in Ohio now. But one of the things I wanted to do was find a range. And it had to be outside and it had to have steel targets. I just like steel targets. And it's easy because you get that feedback. And so I found this range. It's in the middle of nowhere. It's less than a half-hour drive, real easy drive, go through some real nice cities. And I'm there in no time. I was there today, shot my gun. I had to set up, shot my gun, packed up and left. It was great. Just great. All right, what do we got going on here? We have Steve R still here, Max, GB Guns, classic life lesson, never demonstrate profit. Okay, hang on. GB's the kind when he says something you want to listen. This guy's wise. He's so wise. He learned Russian. The guy learned Russian. Who does that? Very few people. Life lesson: never demonstrate proficiency in something you don't want to be stuck doing. See, now that's just brilliance right there. That doesn't. I should. He should charge for that stuff. Here we have Romans in the house from Oklahoma. Romans 6-3. All right. It's time, but I don't need to see it anymore. I wish more people felt that way. It'd be easier to live my life at the range. All right, left Michigan 30 years ago in 92, never went back, don't miss it. I think, okay, no, that's not you. Were you a state cop, Big B? If so, we're in touch a couple times. And two-way buggy says, can't imagine what's like living in a restrictive state, totally free in South Dakota. South Dakota would be a good place to live. I was there once. It's not that Michigan doesn't have many restrictions, but what they do have is registration. And therein lies the issue. And they do have, they want to jam more and more in this horrible governor. Remember the one that kept Michigan locked down way past everybody else during COVID? Power. We had 3 women totally ruin the state. That's what happened. And they did too. The politicians can really make your life miserable. And right now, they're coming up with new and creative ways for tax hikes. These people are idiots. I'm telling you, I turn on the news in Ohio and I see things going on in Columbus that I like, things that I agree with. You know, J.D. Vance from Ohio, Vivek Ramaswamy from Ohio, just very conservative. Even with the polls had Trump up by 9.5, he won by almost 12. Very conservative. I love it here. I smell the freedom. Great place so far. And people say this state is extremely conservative, and it used to be a swing state, not anymore. And it's a growing state. And I actually went to school in Ohio. I went to school at Kent State, where they Nixon had the military there, and anyways, they don't let you die that down. All right, what do we got here? In Ohio would work, but looking for a house, my price range is tough. Yep, I didn't see where you're from. Smash Time says the limp wrist test is the best. Hey, anybody could model it. If please do it. Help me get off the hook. Alyssa is mommy. Geez, Alyssa, eat your Krabby Patties today. Oh, my gosh, eat a fart out of my butt. Okay. Uh, Big Doug's from Ohio. Yeah, Big Doug. I believe he has a range. Unfortunately, he can't use it because ammo costs money. I think Alyssa is mommy, maybe spamming the place. Whatever. Quinn Hall, I can't imagine going back to New York. Oh no, that would be horrible. I'm the king of the limp wrist. I need to learn some new dance moves though, because I'm running out. I feel like let's see, I don't even know how to boot somebody on this thing. We'll see if Alyssa's mommy. Let's see. Uh Ban user and delete their comments. There we go. Boom. It's done. Need a moderator. See, if you look down there, it says, at least on my end, Alyssa, the mommy, was banned and their comments were removed. There we go. Love the limp wrist test. Limp wrist test. All right. Does anybody have any ammo that you absolutely avoid? Is it PMC? A lot of people say PMC is really weak. Is it Freedom Munitions? I will tell you, Freedom Munitions, that it kind of reminds me of that company that comes out of nowhere, like Olight. Olight was one of those. Olight came out of nowhere, and they were a big deal because a lot of people were getting affiliate links on there and making money, so they were pushing their stuff all the time. Olight, oh, you got to get the Olight, Olight, Olight. Oh, I put the Olight in for, and you know what? If Olight's good, that's good. That's fine. If you have an Olight and you like it, great. But the amount of pushing through YouTube and everywhere else, Olight's having a flash sale, all this stuff, it's all affiliate marketing. I'm not against affiliate marketing. I am affiliate with, well, one company right now, one, and I don't even do anything with it. But in order to make money, you have to constantly push, push, push. And I'm not going to do that. Roy Young said it. Yeah, the National Guard -8. Yep, yep. They don't let you live that down at Kent State. PPU. 2A Buggy says PPU. Big B, or USMC Big B, he likes the 2A warehouse. I know Smash Time goes there. All remanufactured. I have to disagree with you on that, Max, but it is inconsistent. That part's true. If you get remanufactured and you have a dead primer, it teaches you that you either flinch or you don't flinch. Because when you hit that dead primer and you go like this, I still do that. It's so hard to break. It is so hard to break. Norma defense ammo. That's interesting. Okay. Yeah, that to flinch to learn to not flinch is really hard because you literally have an explosion taken off in your hands. Well, within the framework of the gun, but you grip and then you just you pull, and that little bit of a flinch, that's the primary cause for low left. Right there is that flinch, and it's very hard to break. But when you put a dummy round in there just to practice, I need to do more of that. I'm not horrible, but I'm not good, and I wish I could break that. Very, very difficult. Try breathing. That'll help. Is it really a flinch though? Sometimes no. On a heavy double action, it's not. You have to pull the trigger. It may draw the muscle down a little bit, but yeah, a lot of times it is. I just bought some freedom. Okay, Dale. I'll be interested to hear how that works for you. It's very inconsistent through my experiences. It's very inconsistent. I just shot some 45. I was shooting this other ammo herders, kind of cheap stuff, herders. I was shooting that, pop, 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 no problem. Put some freedom munitions in there, problem. I just don't trust it. So I'm done with them. Unless I want to work on flinching or lack of, that'll help. Just buy freedom munitions. You find out when you flinch too much. But yeah, if you go like this, I really don't consider that a flinch because you are moving your finger on the gun a little bit. Uh, freedom munitions before bankruptcy a few years back was great. Yes, I remember that. I've heard mixed reviews since the new ownership. Okay. Well, it's like anything else. Uh, New ownership at a restaurant, the first thing they do is change the menu and raise the prices because their expenses are higher. I've been a landlord for over 25 years. When insurance costs goes up and taxes go up, you pass it on. You know, the corporations need to pay their fair share. Well, they're just going to pass it on. It's called basic economics. That's what happens. And the consumer ends up paying more. So is it that that's what happens. So you cut costs. You either raise prices or cut costs. Hopefully both for the success of the company. But in cutting costs, sometimes it takes effect on the quality. Okay, landlord's a hard job. Yeah, I owned 7 single family homes. I currently have one. It's in Michigan. I have real good tenants there, and I'm going to keep them, keep the house and keep them there. But when they move out, I'm going to sell it. I sold 6. Uh, didn't do as well as I had hoped, but some of that was things beyond control. Freedom munitions are remanufactured in most cases. Their site does offer some factory, but I don't know if they outsource that. I have to think they do. What do we say? Yup. Sorry, lib renter. You voted for it, so you got your raises. Well, and that's true too. That is true too. I had some. I've been cussed out. I had my life threatened. I had some real crazy experiences in the rental business, and they see that as their house, and you're the one getting in the way, as if they bought it and rehabbed it and pay the taxes and the insurance and the inspections. I tell you what, when you rent, people don't understand this. If I talk somebody out of becoming a landlord, that means I gave them a touch of reality because there's a lot to that. Jim Sig in the house. This guy's a good friend. This guy, he can shoot the lights out. Wow. I want to get, hey buddy, I moved south of the border, but I still want to get with you and hang out. Really enjoy my time with Jim. He's awesome. I know his real name, but I'm going to refer to him as Jim Sig. This guy can shoot, and he's always so helpful too. Extremely helpful, comes up with great ideas. It's a bromance. Oh, miss you too, buddy. And here's the thing, Jim, you were in contact with me, and it was right at the point when I was moving. I moved an hour south in Ohio, but I'm still in Michigan all the time. I'll be in Michigan tomorrow. So I still want to hang out with you. I'll make the trip. I don't care. All right. Any new news on the new ATF boss? I didn't know there was a new ATF. I knew Dettelbach was getting out of there. I don't know. I didn't know that somebody else was in there. I guess I should know that. Anyone living for free during COVID? What else do we have? Appreciate all you do. I used to work for Ruger, used to work at Ruger, but got hurt in a motorcycle. I come here to have these talks. No, I'm interested, Joshua, if you enjoyed working for Ruger. Ruger is I like the company. I like the people behind the company. And if they treat you any way they treat the customer service, it must have been a good place because the customer service is really good. But I'm just wondering if you liked it. Some of those people that install guns or install parts on guns and all that, a lot of those guys, they stand up, they're on their feet all day long doing a repetitive job over and over and over and over again. A lot of sometimes very tedious work. Ivor, hey there, friends. Thanks for checking in. I started that a long time ago and it's stuck. If you like videos like this, please subscribe and share. Yeah, that stuck too. Oh, let's see what Joshua says. Yes, I did, but they are strict and mean. Okay, were you in Arizona? We had a meeting before they made modern guns. I said, make it AR and 9mm charger and got laughed at. Was in the hospital and saw they were, oh, and then you laughed after you saw. Okay, so you came up with some good ideas. They didn't do it, and then later they did it. All right. All right. The gun industry, you see people jumping around all the time in the firearm industry. New Hampshire. Okay. I wonder if the Arizona, I think they make a lot of their rifles down in Arizona, some of their long guns too. Yeah, I got you. Go to gunsmith in Michigan. Hmm. I used to have a real good guy, but he maybe Jim could answer that. Jim said he has to take me to sporting clay. I'll get hooked. I tried it, Jim. I'm horrible at it. I am I am horrible at it. I tried on a couple occasions. It looks so easy. These guys pull, boom. It's harder than it looks. But I think after I hit a couple, you're right. I'll be hooked. Joshua says, yes, they were stuck in their ways and said it was not their image. Boss was mad. New Hampshire is mostly okay, semi-autos. Gotcha. Yeah. Ruger has fine shape of polishing wheel. He was a polisher. All right. Yeah, gun industry can be a tough place to work. You see the marketing people, they they are jumping all over the place. You see vice presidents ever. I guess it's like that everywhere. Um I can't remember who was asking for a gunsmith in Michigan, but Jim Sig said 1911 Marianne Carnick gunsmith. Oh, for 1911. All right. All right. Well, let's see. Whatever they know makes cash. I will say this about Ruger. When they come out with something, Smith and Wesson's the same way. Ruger and Smith and Wesson are two of the largest firearm manufacturers in the world. And if I had to say which one was bigger, I would probably say Ruger. They are massively big. They're in serious competition with each other. But when either of those companies come out with something new, it is huge, a big deal. And they sell for right around the MSRP for about 6 months. And after that, it drops substantially. And they can do that because they have the backing. They make their money, they continue to make money, but they're already on to the next project. And they drop that and they keep this cycle going and going and going because they are huge companies and they don't have military contracts. You look at SIG. SIG takes a P226 and makes a whole bunch of versions of them. How many times are they going to skin the same cat with the P365 and make all different versions of them? They do that all of the time. They have military contracts. That gives them flexibility. Now, SIG's still coming out with new guns. So I give them credit in that regard. But those military contracts can make them lazy. Look at FN. FN was, they didn't innovate anything. They said, these are our guns and that's that. Let's see. GB says, oh, hang on. I want to get to that, Joshua. Except the Ruger Machine competition model that they tried to launch in the middle of an ammo crisis. Yeah. Yeah, I have that. I just shot that the other day. I thought it was I love that gun. The Ruger American series, I think, is the best series yet. I hope they stay with it. I think it's really good. Ruger is very handmade revolvers, are torched and polished. 15 men love to look at them. I saw a Ruger GP 100 today, 357 Magnum, used, looked brand new, $550. And it had the target sights on there. It had a cylinder that held 6 rounds, not 7, which is the one I want, with the fiber optic front sight and the target adjustable rear. But man, I would walk away, come back, walk away, come back. I did that about 4 times and then I walked away. So I don't know. I really want it though. It was pretty awesome. Let's see. Bretta does say, yep, you're right. The 92 series, they do the exact same thing. SIG does it more though. Bretta does that too. And a lot of manufacturers do that, but SIG skins that cat so many times over and over. Bought the Ruger RXM. Yes, sir. It's honestly pretty good for the price. Hard to agree. I think you meant disagree with it, Devin. But yeah, good comment. What's Gort say? G19 clothes gotten, yeah, that's true. Well, since that patent ended on the Glock 19, everybody came out with their clones. I bet if Glock foresaw that coming, they would have extended the patent if they could. Hey, thanks. I got a little super chat there, $1.99. Australia banned guns and now has been safe since. I guess I'm confused. You gave me $1.99, then said Australia banned guns and has now been safe since. I don't know how to take that. How would you take that? Somebody gives you a gift and then says banning guns makes it safe? I don't know. All right. I can't go wrong. A rebuttal. Australia also arrested people for being on the beach alone past curfew during lockdowns. Ooh. This is a fair comment right here from Max. If you can't get it right, keep trying and let the consumers be your testing results. How much am I benching these days? That's a good question. Um, I'm nowhere near what I used to be. I don't know if it's age or I'm not working as hard on it. I'm probably not working as hard on it because life gets in the way of that. But the most I ever benched was 315. Um, I'm holding my own. I can still put up 2 1/4, 10 times. I consider that holding my own. But thanks. I appreciate that, Alex. I am soon to be 58 in approximately a month. I'll be 58 years old. Feel great. My sleeping's weird though. It's really weird. It's strange. Get up super early now. Sometimes today I was up at 5. Yesterday 4:30. Strange. Just happened too. All right. 225. That's awesome. Mostly 19-year-olds can't do. Oh, that's true. Well, most people can't do it once. 225. Most people can't do it at all. And I I I'm not trying to brag, but I used to work out constantly, and I used to put up 225. I could do it so many times. Now, if I get to 10, I'm good. Hey, Rillo made the house. Wow, you don't look 58. I appreciate that, man. It's I don't know. I don't know the key to life. I'm getting bald though. See that? Getting bald. From here, you really can't see it, but you go like this. Oh, you can see it. I'm thinking about just shaving it all off. Might just do that. We got Nutty in the house. And let's see. Okay, we got some good side chats going. Anyways, hey, I appreciate this. I'm a little over an hour now. I may shut it down and do a couple things around here. I'm still doing work for Fin Feather for Outfitters. So if you see me, oh, Quinn's going to be 60 tomorrow. All right. Happy birthday, Quinn Hall. Happy birthday, sir. The key to life is peace and quiet. I tell you what, the key to life, and I don't have it all down. I'm not going to say that I have it all down. But what keeps me going is knowing that there is a God in heaven who loves me and loves you and sacrificed everything so that we can spend eternity with him. That to me gives me peace beyond all understanding. And that is so I want to say that I appreciate everybody for being here. Appreciate the side chat, very active, and it was fun for me to communicate and be here, have people that are here and sharing their knowledge and information and everything. It is my honor to be here with you. Romans says amen, and that I am correct with a name like Romans. I will take that to the bank. God bless you guys. Get to know the Lord if you're looking for inner peace, because it'll happen. It's not a figment of your imagination. It's a true relationship with your Savior, and that will help bring you peace. You get out of it what you put into it, and you put some faith. Okay, God requires faith, and you put that faith in, and you will see things that change. They change in your life. You take the trash out, and in comes a new you, and you never want to go back. And once you reach that point and you have that faith, then you have assurance that there's a God in heaven who loves you and wants the best for you. Yeah, we could talk about disease and killings and all that, but we often forget about our blessings. And I want to tell you something. I have been blessed beyond belief. I cannot ask for anything greater in my life. And if it all ended now, I would be in peace because it's been phenomenal. And I appreciate each and every one of you, and I appreciate you being here. God bless you all. Have a great and restful night, and I'll see you next time.